following podcast contains naughty language. The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
For our 6th exclusive Patreon audio content, we decided to do some video because we haven't done that in a while. So we're going to give you guys the video feed of this episode. And this is sort of a complimentary supplement piece for our year-end show. We figured we'd give you something a little extra, extend out the year-end festivities, and give you something that the other listeners won't get unless they're here on Patreon. So once again, we appreciate everything you guys do for us and enable us to do this. So let's kick off 2020 in fashion with Patreon exclusive number 6. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to the 6th exclusive Patreon episode of Trick or Treat Radio. Yeah, that's what we are. Anyways, you guys know what we are. Trick or Treat Radio, world's most dangerous podcast. You've heard that once or twice before. Well, here we are for our 6th episode. And I guess that means we've gone half a year with the Patreon stuff. So this is exciting. We appreciate you guys giving us the ability to do this. These are always fun. We do something a little bit different. And this one is no different from that. We're going to be doing kind of a supplement to our year-end show. Kind of padding it out a little bit, talking a little bit more about the year in detail, and then also giving you some top 5 lists. A lot of you had sent in your top 5 lists in our year-end show, and we're going to give you something a little bit different that we don't normally do. So looking forward to that. And we're down one. We're down one. Man down. Yes, it was a war of attrition over there on the year-end show, and he wasn't able to stick around. So. He was tired.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So it'll be myself, Aries, and Raven Shadow for the duration of this one. So thank you guys for not being too tired.
No, I'm exhausted. I'm a trooper. I told the missus don't expect me home. So
yeah, you don't bitch.
And no, it's exciting. I mean,
plus
it's still nice to be hanging out together. You can see Johnny on the Facebook feed now or the video feed.
It's just. Are you like calmer now? You can see him. He's there. Look at even the thumbs
up. I am so calm.
Wait. Let me give you these thumbs up. It's the Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be fucking talking about that. Oh, it's nice. Give me a 5 to the sky back there. Come on, do it once. No one's gonna record you. Yeah, Johnny.
I'll do it for the camera. 5 to the sky.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm a little fucking cub between 2 fucking bears right now. It's very exciting.
It was. I'll give you. It was a little weird not having him in front of us,
right?
Because it's the norm. But you know what? After 5 minutes, I got over it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking let go.
It's just like talking to someone on the phone. You don't see him when you're talking to him. You just talk to him.
Well,
yeah, but
the thing is, everyone will appreciate it because the quality would be slightly better. Skype is just, it does what it does. It does it fairly well, but there's definitely a lot of noise involved in Skype. So anytime we record without video, we typically use Discord because it's got a clearer audio. So. All right, so no one cares about that shit, though. What they care about is this year-end stuff. So we did talk about our top 13. We did the top 13, the master list of Trick or Treat Radio, and there was some. You guys surprised by the outcome?
I was. Yes, I was.
Very much so. I was very surprised going through the movies, which I don't think we covered enough in the year-end show. But like, we talked a little bit offline, like. It seems like forever ago those movies were done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then this definitely could have been the top 20 list because there were movies I wanted to have on my list. There wasn't room.
Well, I don't know if you guys wrote down any, but I got some honorable mentions. So, although the funny thing is my honorable mentions were on other people's lists, so it's not like they're really standouts. But I had The Dead Don't Die, Tigers Are Not Afraid, and also Depraved, which didn't appear on anyone's list, but I thought was kind of a cool, modern day retelling of Frankenstein.
Oh shit!
No,
Fuck.
don't tell me.
Fuck.
I actually, you know what? I feel bad. I actually typed it on the list you guys have. I typed. I think I wrote it as deranged. I meant to write depraved.
You did, Johnny, because I googled. Yes, you fucking did. And I love you so.
Listen to you.
And you're so far away.
Okay,
but
so
no.
wait. I do everything for the show. I send you all the movies that we reviewed over the year so you could look at them. I made one little typo, and you're jumping down my throat.
No. I'm not even on your fucking beard. But I feel that.
Good. I don't want that. That's creepy.
No, it's not your fault. You do a really good job producing. You are producer Wolfie, and I understand that. And much like my mom does all the things she does, I shouldn't get upset. But no, I did. I forgot about the. Was it deranged, depraved, right?
Depraved.
What's the Frankenstein one?
Depraved.
All right. Well, next. All right. Well, no, it's not your fault. I'm not yelling at you.
It sounds like you are.
Would that have been on your list?
Yeah, maybe.
It would not have been on mine, and I was a little because I'd missed a few shows over the year. So as I'm looking up movies, like I don't remember that one. I look it up and went, yeah, I must have been working or whatever, missed that show. And I typed in that, and I was like, I got nothing that's even coming up like remotely, like year-wise. Like,
yeah.
I definitely missed that week.
No, Frankenstein might have been on my would have been on my list, and also I did forget about Bliss.
We just did that one though,
Johnny.
How can you remember? How can you forget about Bliss?
It's fucking hard being me, okay?
It's hard being me. It's hard being Johnny. It's hard being our listeners. Life is fucking hard.
Yeah, we got fucking problems. So I mean, I can only show up when I can show up and do what I do when I does it. You know what I'm saying? But,
no one does. Absolutely no one knows.
You're insane.
Rage
out. Tigers Are Not Afraid.
I'm fucking saying that. Tigers aren't afraid, Johnny. They're not.
Oh my God.
I was telling that to Ollie when he didn't like putting his coat on to go outside. He hates putting his coat on. I'm like,
so you were telling him Tigers Aren't Afraid?
Yeah.
You were telling a dog Tigers Aren't Afraid.
Well, I said Bijan's not afraid. And he said, okay.
So
no, we got problems.
How about you guys? Were there any others, any big surprises or any other films that you kind of were thinking maybe should be on there, but you just couldn't justify putting on?
I had a lot of fun with fucking Boone the Bounty Hunter. I'm fucking sorry. The dude really fucking did his own stunts. He was like a mod.
You should be sorry, because that's on my short list of Dear God No award.
Yeah, that was
it was fun.
That was on my list for the Dear God No. Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah,
that
did not even consider for my top 13.
It was fun. I had fun watching that with Marion. We got some fucking pie, and it was fucking a good.
Oh, I see. Because you watched it with someone else, it was fun.
Yeah,
while eating pizza. That's your definition of a fun movie.
Well, why would it not be? There's plenty a lot of movies. So, all right, fine. Let's turn back the hands of time. You're telling me there's not movie memories that you've had fun watching, like fucking, on the VHS with the pizza and the fucking soda
pop. So,
pop.
Channel, why don't you get pizza and soda pop and watch it with watch the movies with someone else every single week?
I've pretty much been doing that. It helps.
So why aren't they all good movies then?
Well, it's not always good, but it's kind of fun.
But why does that one stand out if you're getting pizza and watching it every week with someone?
Because he was really doing flips. He was really doing the fucking
so what?
Stuff.
So?
That's impressive.
You know what? What was
Doesn't make it a good movie.
Yeah. Triple Threat. They're all doing the flips and the kicks and everything else, and I was the only one to put that on my list.
Yeah.
I was shocked by that. I'm a little shocked by that one.
He doesn't remember Triple Threat.
I don't remember.
He doesn't. Him. I'm not shocked at Johnny. I'm a little shocked that wasn't on your list. Triple Threat.
Yeah, I tell you, I want to watch that again for the first time.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It was okay. It was a lesser version of like some of
Guns
those
Up.
action movies, like The Raid or something like that. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why it was high up. I mean I think it was like 11 or 10 on my list or something like that. So It wasn't a number one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that would be more prevalent on people.
It wasn't a number 2 either. That's a poop.
Wow.
No, but why can't it be fun to watch it with somebody? Like, once again, Johnny, remember before your new continuity and my new continuity when we would eat Taco Bell in your car, and that was fun, right?
Yes,
that was fun.
and listen to Van Halen.
Yeah, and that was exciting for what it was. So you can have a moment in time enjoying something, even if it isn't the best thing.
Yep.
But you know what? If you were sitting in this car eating Taco Bell and Britney Spears was on the radio, you could still have a fond memory of sitting in the vehicle eating Taco Bell, but you wouldn't like Britney Spears because of it.
No, but it would be like a soundtrack to memories of happiness.
Jesus.
It'd be in my memory guide.
Oh boy. You know what movie didn't appear on anyone's list? And I know it's kind of an interesting one because it's a movie we all saw when we were kids, but Dudes.
Yeah.
That was on my list. That was number 13, and I went back and forth between that and what was my 13? I already forgot.
What you put as 13.
What's my 13? Where's my list?
I can pull up your 13.
No, and Dudes would have. I mean, there was a couple things like Dudes, and I left off.
Parasite was your 13, Aries.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
No, because I've been criticized in the past. But to be fair, though, to keep it my record.
Justifiably so.
Fucking at 2, Johnny. I would leave movies off that I would have seen without the show. I try to keep my list what we watched because of the show.
We watched it on the show. It's not because of the show, on the show. Dudes, we watched on the show, so it was in that list. Johnny gave you that movie.
Right.
It was there to be voted.
But I love that movie, and have Josh would have given it to me offline, I still would have loved that. So
it doesn't
matter. I don't feel it was worth, like when we did one of our early field trips of Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't put that on that list because that was something I would have seen without the show.
Was that part of the show? I wasn't here.
No, we didn't technically do a review of it. I think we discussed it a little bit, but it wasn't like a featured film that we do.
It was on our list though of that year.
Well, I remember there was a big hullabaloo about that because Mars put it on his list, and then I think some of us. Actually, I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
I feel it was something like that, but like I didn't put it on mine because I would have seen that regardless of the show. Now, I've been criticized for putting other stuff like fucking El Santo and what was the one?
Oh, yeah, super shit.
Yeah.
The Superman, what was it?
Not fucking banana.
Holy shit, I can't believe I forget.
It's not El Santo, but it was like El Gato or somebody.
No, I forget, but yeah, I know which one you mean.
You know, but I left off Dudes because, well, that was that.
I would have gone and watched Ready or Not without this show.
Yeah, but that's different though.
How is that different? How is that any different?
Because don't fight me. But I feel that we already love Dudes going into it.
So?
And watching, well, fine. Do
you remember years ago we used to do older movies on the show?
I remember that.
I remember. Yeah.
Well, then fine. Then all right, fine. Number 10.
Okay, you can't
Dudes.
switch it now.
Raven Shadow, Goldface, this Fantastic Superman.
Yes, Goldface. Yeah, it was Goldface the Superman. That's a fucking.
We both were right in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm going back and looking at 2014, and Tiny was with us. Sir Isaac was with us. Mars was with us. And Tiny rated Guardians of the Galaxy #1. So, yes, he had it. I did not. You did not put it on your list. Sir Isaac put it on his. Dynamo put it on his. And I did not put it on mine because I didn't feel it should be on there.
Same thing, Johnny, right?
Yeah,
like, I mean, if they feel like it.
Well, I think the ultimate thing is whether it's on the emailed list that we all got.
And that's fair. And Dudes was on.
It was on that list.
Now, Aries. I use that as a basic contention for when I pick things. So yes, it's on the list. I would pick that. There are times where I left things off for my own personal reasons, but when I put Goldface on, And John, you can remember this. It was because I thought it was on the list.
Yeah, it was.
And
And actually, Guardians of the Galaxy was not on the list. I'm looking back. It was not a film that we actually reviewed. So we talked about it on the show, and that's why it threw people off, I guess.
Well, at that point, did you email a list to everyone?
Yeah, and it wasn't on the list.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's on them then.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, dude, I mean, there was some great films this year, and as if you check out our year-end show, but I don't know if any of them could beat my love for dudes. Because shut up, Aries.
Just the way you said it. I don't know.
Can't beat my.
Quite
But no,
humorous. Let me press record, Johnny. I love dudes.
yeah. No, I loved dudes before I met you, Aries. And that's a bold statement because I met you since I was 17. And then when I knew that you loved dudes, and then you knew that I loved dudes, we became fucking friends.
It was a bonding moment.
Right.
Became
We bonded over
dudes
dudes.
together.
Right. So we had that going, and then the fact that Johnny and Arkham Josh gave it to us with the VHS next to me. So it's an unfair love.
Well, not necessarily
Of that.
because I was including it as an option on this list, but
Yeah.
it didn't make the list because you know what? It's a super fun movie
Yes.
and it has a very high rewatchability.
Yes.
But honestly, it is not it's not a good story. It's a basic story.
Right.
Mediocre acting, mediocre cinematography. It's just a movie. I watched it because it had Flea in it. I mean that was why I watched it. A movie has Flea in it. I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
I mean
And leaving.
at my first viewing I didn't know who Lee Ving was.
Was that before or after Clue?
Before Clue.
Before Clue, right?
Before
Okay.
Clue.
Interesting.
So I mean, I love the movie, but it wouldn't make it on my list.
All right. Well, then why are we fighting?
So let's talk about since we didn't do it in the year-end show. Let's do some Dear God No awards because this and we had mentioned this in the year-end that there wasn't a lot of really bad stuff this year. Like we actually had a good, like mediocre to good films, you know, to even some great ones. But there definitely wasn't too much in the way of really terrible films. So. Do you guys know what your Dear God No is? I'm still kind of on the fence. There's like 3 movies that just stood out to me, but do you guys know what you're going to pick?
I know what mine is.
Yeah,
I'm
go
not.
for it.
Yeah, okay. No, let me ramble on for a bit while you guys make up your minds. I am not 100% on board with calling this segment Dear God No this year because we don't have any movies that are just awful. Like nothing I like absolutely cringed at watching. There are a lot of movies that I wouldn't watch again, and they are flawed movies. But as far as what I feel the least enjoyable movie this year is, was what the hell was the name of it? Can't believe I'm drawing a blank at the name. Just watch the damn thing. I Trapped the Devil.
Yeah.
It was, and it's. I think a lot of its problem was the fact that it was a first-time filmmaker, because that's a lot of the problems where a lot of the score there was no mix with the score. It was just turn it on, and that was it. And the score was what it was throughout the whole movie. The story was very bland, very mediocre. There was nothing. It was a straight line story, and it didn't move to the end very quickly. I believe I said a slow stagger to the end was what I said, because it lumbered to what was inevitable, and that is a big problem. Although the acting was fine for what it was, there was no story there. It was just a mediocre movie, and I feel a lot of that is the problem with the first-time filmmaker. I would not dismiss another movie from this filmmaker because of this. I would give them another shot because there was some decent to this movie. Some of the camera work was done very well. Some of the angles, some of the choices were very well done. Some of the lower angles shooting up, even some of very slightly cockeyed when characters were having a discussion. It was very compelling, but it just lacked that story. So that is my choice for
All right.
least enjoyable movie of the year. I will not say. Boy.
All right. How about you, Raven Chow? Do you know which one it is yet?
You know what? And I was almost on the fence. And I shouldn't. What came to mind was I Trap the Devil, and it's not the movie's fault. So I'm not going to pick that. And I agree with Aries. I'm down with what this dude does next. But you know what? It's fuck it. Banana Splits should be fucking Banana Shits. Okay, because it was. It tried to give you exactly what you thought it was, but it was still fucking whack, dog. Like, it was still whack for the audience that it was supposed to get to. I don't know. It was like a lifetime fucking horror movie, dude. And it was whack. Aside from the fire in the face scene, it was fucking dumb.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to say that was. I mean, I when I was compiling my list, that didn't get an instant cross off for me.
Yeah,
that was in the consideration, but it didn't make it past the second round.
And not that I expected Banana Splits to be fucking Endgame. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that to be, holy shit. So I wasn't wrong in what we got. But if you're gonna do that, you could have did it a better way. And yeah, I think it was mad whack.
Okay.
All right. So for me, all right, I had three that I was kind of going between, and kind of something Aries said sort of really resonated with me, and it was, what did you call it? The least enjoyable, Aries?
Least enjoyable, yes.
So for me, the Banana Splits, it was up there. That was on my list towards the bottom. But ultimately, it wasn't it was a lot wrong with that film, but
the fucking kids, though, come on.
Well, I know, but it's not going to be my dear God no. Boone the Bounty Hunter was pretty bad.
Come on, dude. He really did those jumps, dude.
So?
What?
That doesn't make a good movie.
He was like a young fucking Shawn Michaels.
It's like saying Tom Cruise is a good actor because he does his own stunts.
No, he's a good actor despite being batshit crazy. But no. But he really fucking did the flips, and it was fun. It was tongue in cheek.
Johnny, you were saying?
Yes,
I like
thank you.
Bounty.
So
It's fun.
I'm going to pick. This was an anthology, and that's why I hesitated to have it be my top one, because the first entry into this anthology was good. Like, it was that if you guys remember, sort of the slasher with a twist. And then we had a couple others that were pretty decent, but the last segment in Nightmare Cinema might be one of the worst things we've ever seen on this show. That's the one that was done by Mick Garris, supposedly a master of horror, but I dispute that. This, I don't even remember the name of his segment. It was just so fucking bad. It was Lifetime movie bad. So I gotta say, it was Dead was the name of it. Just like it was fucking Dead on Arrival is what it was. But Mick Garris's segment in Nightmare Cinema, Dead, is my dear God no of the year. It was utterly trash.
Just that segment or the whole movie?
Just that segment.
Just that segment? Okay.
Because I did like The Thing in the Woods, and there was some parts that I liked about Mashit. That was the Ryuhei Kitamura, or with the with the nuns and stuff. And even David Slade's segment, This Way to Egress, was interesting, Yeah. I would say Joe Dante's was uninspired. The Mirari, that was the one with the facial surgery. But Mick Garris's Dead was just so bad that, dear God, no for me, man. Don't watch that. It's terrible. It is. If you watch that movie, stop after the fourth segment. That's all you got to do. So yeah, I don't know what MZ's would have been. I'd be curious about that. But let me think. Was there anything else that stood out about this year to you guys? Any performances or directors, or I mean, we didn't really, plan to talk about this, but was anything that stood out in any of the films, or even like a scene that was really memorable, or anything like that?
I mean, I think we've seen a lot of good things by new directors. I mean, we've seen a lot of
new and young directors.
Right. And people who are coming up. And even if, once again, we are discussing films, that we watch because we love these movies. But I think there's one thing that we can all agree on, even if we're not digging the final product, I think that we still get excited about what the director may be. Whether that director is Rob Zombie, or even like the Saska sisters, or some of the people that we've met we viewed for the first time. I don't think there's any work that's been, this person shouldn't be doing this. We're just saying, oh, we get what they do. What are they doing next? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that fair? And I think it's great there's people who are coming up that are trying different things. And if they go to the well, there's, I don't know. You got to go to the well a little bit, right?
To get some water?
Yeah. There's no one's work that I completely hate. And actually, how about this? How about some of the fucking kids? And I've seen the last 3 years, kid actors are fucking coming up like 7-Up, dude.
Coming up like 7-Up.
Yeah. Let's take a look at fucking Tigers Aren't Afraid. Those aren't even real fucking kids. Well, they're real kids, but they're not real actors.
They're not real.
They weren't CGI, but they weren't actors. They were just kids in the fucking barrio in the hood, and they filmed them.
Well, to be fair, they were just acting as themselves.
What's I'm saying? Bambaleo. I ain't fucking acting, but I can fucking play Raven Shadow.
Barely.
I'm answering John's question.
Yeah, and I think that there was definitely, we had some strong young directors like Jordan Peele, Robert Eggers, and Ari Aster were three that really stood out, that had theatrical releases that did fairly well, that have their own unique style. And we had a lot of up and comers as well. So it was an interesting year. Like, there was no, last year we had a couple like standout, like Mandy, The Night Comes for Us, but this year, we got some really good stuff, and it seemed like almost like a transitional year, but there was a lot of really great stuff, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the directors putting out films in 2020, 2021, and so on. So, yeah, and 2020 is shaping up to be a pretty decent year so far, just looking at what's coming up. So, I'm excited.
But even too, sorry to cut you off, but we've seen some I don't want to say older or old timers, but a movie that wasn't really on anyone's list this year was Trespassers, which I think I did enjoy watching it.
Ugh.
But that had, it wasn't great.
No, I didn't like it.
We saw Fairuza Balk, showing.
No, you didn't. Not at first, anyways.
Well, it took me a minute, John. I'm trying to get to the fucking.
He took you more than a minute.
But then what was the one we watched recently with the Daniel Isn't Real with who was the chick? Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yeah.
Seen some people who have been around for a while in some indie stuff with some new directors. I don't say reinventing themselves, but the proving they're still around was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no disrespect, but she hasn't really been around. She's trying to find work. She's taking it when she can get it.
But that was cool, and maybe she didn't need to beforehand. She probably has some fucking Betty and June money still kicking around.
It's not endgame money. I mean, that's just.
Well, no. But I don't know. Give me $25,000. I'll fucking just chill. Yeah, I'd be fine.
For a year, yeah. No, I mean, this was a very unique year for movies, because we, like Johnny's been saying, there's nothing been standing out, but there's nothing that's been complete shit. It's just a good run of movies this year. I don't think we'll see this again, where we have this just, because I haven't liked all the movies. I've given tricks to a decent amount of movies, but it's not like I'd just be just completely shitting on them. I just have a problem with them, and it is my opinion as to whether I would recommend the movie and go watch it again. So that's just my opinion. Not to say that it's an awful movie. That every movie we have watched this year has had redeeming qualities to it. And you know what? As a whole, watch every movie we've seen this year.
Yeah.
There is something good about every movie we've seen.
Yeah, I can down with that for sure. All right, so we should probably move on to some of our lists. Any of you guys dying to go first with your list?
I'll go and get mine out of the way.
Okay.
Since I just kind of like got it together in my head as I was walking my dog before I got here, because I was like, "Oh crap! I need a top 5 list." You know, it was just everyone's busy. I understand that, but yeah, I've been hectic, not getting my head straight. So the list I kind of threw together was humorous, quirky taglines to horror movies.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting. Okay.
Great.
Yeah, well, because I was just thinking of doing taglines to movies, but there's so many good ones. Like, I needed a way to narrow it down.
That we've done.
What? No, not that we've done. Just in general, just horror movies in general.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
quirky or humorous. That my 2 stipulations. I had to like the tagline itself. Like,
Okay.
find just because it's a joke, I had to like it, and also I had to like the movie itself.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
I think that's a pretty cool idea for a list. Let's hear.
Yeah, it's just like amazing what you can do when you're walking your dog. So that I might be playing it loose with the whole horror theme with this, and playing it loose with what is considered the tagline, because I have noticed as I was looking up to find an image of like a poster with that tagline on it, I may have gone deep and gone to a second tagline or third tagline. So bear with me. It exists as a tagline. So the first one is The Craft. And while I'm trying to pull up, see, this is why I don't do it on.
I know the line.
What's the line? Go ahead.
We are the weirdos, mister.
No, that's not the right one.
That's just a line from the movie.
Yeah.
It's not the
It's a
tagline.
tagline. It's something that would appear on a poster. And the one I chose isn't the foremost one that appears on the poster. It is Exercise Your Rights, but
Oh, yeah.
it's rights, RITES.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Okay.
Little I liked a little bit of play on words there with that.
It's
Right.
funny because I don't remember that one, but I'm looking at a poster and one of the taglines was "Welcome to the Witching Hour."
Yeah,
So,
that's the most prominent
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
So that's why I was like, man, I'm playing a little fast and loose here with the taglines. You don't like it, fuck it. Put on a new podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and oh crap. See, this is why I don't do technology, because I hate technology.
See?
Second one is the Reanimator, and this is not the one that appears below the title. This is the longer one. Herbert West has a good head on his shoulders and another one on his desk.
Yes, that was great.
So that's number 3. Going a little bit obscure. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. A little bit play on words.
Love it.
In
Yep.
space, no one can eat ice cream.
That's great. I don't remember that one either.
Oh yeah, no, that's I love that one like from day one. Just that's because that's just such an absurd movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
it is. I don't mention it a lot, but I do love that movie because it is just so absurd. And I can't bring my phone back to life. Damn it.
Did it
Technology. No, it's just because
Oh.
I'm keep on turning it on and off.
Oh, I
so
see.
it doesn't want to recognize my fingerprint.
That's funny. I thought it literally died as you were doing it.
Oh no. So then we'll go Sleepy Hollow, like I said, fast and loose with the horror genre thing. But heads will roll.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious for that movie, but it's just one of those things. I always like that one. It just very fitting for that movie. But I don't know, and I don't know. It's just very fitting for us, and especially with the Rock and Shock, us appearing with the actor in this movie, Army of Darkness, trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas.
Yeah, that is a great one. Awesome. Well, I think that's a pretty imaginative list, and I definitely wouldn't have thought of that. So I think it's a good one. If anyone listening has any other great ones they'd like to contribute, let Aries know. I'm sure he'd like to see some other great taglines that he forgot. But yeah, it's tough to narrow it down to just 5. So
yeah, that's the thing. I was just trying to find a way to really just, and that was the best way I could find to keep it to 5. Like,
yeah.
If you just would, even because I was like, even just good horror ones, there's just too many. You need a way to narrow it down, because taglines are there is a lot of good ones out there floating around.
Yep. Yeah, there really is. Well, I was going to go to Raven Shadow next, but
I don't know. Apparently, he doesn't know me and thinks I'm very long-winded.
Yeah. So let me see. I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do mine. I got audio to go with mine. So. But I just wanted to get some other stuff ready here. All right, so I am going to be doing the top 5. This is my top 5 metal albums of 2019. If anyone has listened to the show with any degree of regularity, you know that I love all music. I listen to a lot of different genres, but my bread and butter is metal, and that's. During the week when I go to the gym, I almost exclusively listen to metal. I just need something that's going to get me motivated. It's going to pump me up, and metal just is what does it for me. I try to listen to some other stuff here and there, and I just can't really. It just doesn't do it. So for me, that's, I had a bunch of honorable mentions as well. It was tough to actually put this list together, but I went with the albums that stuck with me the most for the most part. The albums I listened to the most over the course of the year. And so I'm going to kick things off here. I got some audio as well, so I'm going to play that in the background. And we don't have to worry about YouTube digging us, because this is just going to be on Patreon. It's not going to be on YouTube. So my number 5 metal albums of 2019. I'm going to kick things off with the latest album from Amon Amarth. They are definitely Viking metal. If you guys have never heard Amon Amarth, that's their MO. And their 11th studio album is entitled Berserker, and they're a Swedish death metal band. This came out on May 3rd, 2019 through Metal Blade Records, and it is maybe a little bit more traditional heavy metal for their style. I'm going to go ahead and play a song here. So this is Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor, Raven Shadow.
With that.
You can get with that?
Yeah.
So you guys may hear, it might break up for you guys over on the other channel, but this is, play a little bit of it here. I'm playing the video, but you can
I've been so, just loving metal lately.
Really? I think you should check these guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some really great songs on this album, but this is the one that kind of stuck with me. So the name of this track, as I said, is Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor. Get some vocals here.
For the
funny because Aries would probably fit in with this band. They
Yeah,
all
just picture
have
myself, like
beards.
folding the laundry,
Yeah.
like put my socks in, things and do my linens.
Do your
See,
linens.
this like it's on the line of whether I like the vocals or not because they're almost that that I don't like.
It's like,
but I
yeah,
can
vocal.
understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So it's right on that line.
Yeah. And I'm kind of with you. Like I like all sorts of vocal styles, but for my money, he is one of the best at it because he does have that like that growl, but you can absolutely make out every single word that he says, and it's it's really interesting to listen to because I can't take like growling for an entire album all the time. Like I need to be in the right mindset, but with Amon Amarth I can do it. So that is Berserker from Amon Amarth is my number 5. My number 4, this is actually a late entry. I found this album about 2 months ago, and I think it had just come out, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check on that, but yeah, this is a band, a French band, and it's funny, I don't even know how to properly say their name because they have a number in their name. It looks like Hypnose, like Hypnose, but instead of an S, there's a 5 there. So I don't know if you're like, I assume it's just Hypnose, but there's a 5 instead of an S. But anyways, this band is a sort of, I guess you'd call them a French avant-garde metal band, and they mostly sing in English, but there's some stuff that they sing in French as well. But the avant-garde part is they're sort of all over the place. They're more progressive metal, I would call them, but there's a lot of sort of more mellow stuff. And look, I'm playing the track now. It takes a little bit to get going. Oh, you know what? This is the full. I'm going to shoot ahead a little bit because this is a song that's in 3 parts. So it's parts 1, 2, and 3, and this is the entirety of it. This is all 3 parts in one. So let me just skip ahead a little bit here.
This is the 15-minute intro.
No, it's only 3 minutes actually. But go. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this is from the album A Distant Dark Source, and the name of the song is A Distant Dark Source Part 2. So as you can hear, it's a little bit all over the place. They get some more mellow bits here with some singing, but there's a lot of growling as well in their vocals. But it's very, very technical and very progressive at times. And it's just one that really stuck with me. Like I listened to it and was like, oh shit, like I dig this a lot. And I kept coming back to it and back to it. And 2 months later, I'm still listening to this. It's still in my rotation. So we play a little bit more here. Here's some of the more progressive elements. So that is Hypnose with their album A Distant Dark Source. So I would absolutely recommend that for anyone that's into that sort of stuff. Now, number go ahead.
Okay. You know what that reminds me of is, as far as mainstream artists, is System of a Down. where it goes from more of a hard to a soft type sound.
I could see that.
I'm very interested in hearing more of that.
Yeah, it's like I said, their songs are long. They typically break them up so they're a little bit more digestible. Like A Distant Dark Source, the one I was just playing, is like 18 minutes long, but it's really 3 parts, so it's like 3 different songs. But they do that a lot. There's like In the Blue Glow of Dawn, parts 1, 2, and 3. On Our Bed of Soil, part 1, 2, and 3. So there's like 5 songs, but they break it up so that it actually seems like it's a full album, you know. So yeah, but I dig it a lot. Next, this is definitely a bit of a departure. It's definitely still fits in the metal, but this is a band from Australia, actually. I know we have a lot of friends that are out in Australia. But this band, also, you could consider them sort of progressive metal, but this is more of like sort of a pop tint to it, I guess you could say. And the elevator pitch, when I sort of like tell people about this band, I say if Dream Theater in like 1992 kicked out James LeBrie as a singer and then had Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran join them, and they went in a bit of a more pop direction, that's sort of what you would get. So there's progressive elements, there's keyboard, and the dude sounds a little bit like Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. So, as I said, Voyager is a progressive metal band from Perth, Australia, and this is their 7th full-length album. And they've been doing it since 1999. They've been doing it for a while. But this album, like I've liked all their stuff previously, but this album really stuck with me. Like I listened to this on repeat for a good 3 weeks, I would say. And at first I was like, oh man, it's a little bit slower than their other stuff. But where they go on this is really outstanding. I'll play some for you guys so you can hear. All right, we'll get a little intro to the video here. So the dude's getting in in the video. He's getting in a car. He's hitchhiking. So obviously, a lot of synth in this as well. But that's not, but it doesn't drive the music. It's the band that drives it. So this is a Voyager. I'm going to let it play through a little bit, but I don't know if this would be up you guys' alley, but it is. It's a little bit more commercially acceptable metal, but they do some interesting stuff with tempo and with beat. Kind of like a little bit of groove in there.
I dig it.
Yeah. This is the chorus here. So the whole album's great. This is probably one of the albums I've listened to the most over the year, so that's why it gets my number 3 slot. So that's Voyager with Colors is their album.
I like that.
All right, this one I actually forgot this album came out in 2019 because it seemed like so long ago. So when I was going through my list of stuff, I'm like, man, like it was hard to round out the list, and then I went back and I was like, oh, let me just go back and see, and I saw that this album came out in January, and I was like, fuck, this throws a monkey wrench into things because this is such an amazing album, and I actually got to see this band play live this year. I think we actually moved one of our live shows for it. So the band is Swallow the Sun, and they're a Finnish extreme metal band is what they're classified as. But I don't know that I would classify them as extreme metal anymore. They've sort of morphed a little bit into more of a doom death band, I guess. I'm not good with subgenres, but this album came out January 25th, 2019, and the name of the album is When a Shadow is Forced into the Light. And the band is Swallow the Sun, and this is their sixth full-length album. They also have one triple album, which is an amazing album. I would recommend that if anyone digs what they're hearing here. But the triple album is Songs from the North 1, 2, and 3. And so there's this band is there's a lot of emotion, and the lyrics are really phenomenal as well, and just a lot of cool visuals. So when I did see them live, they had a really great stage show. It's sort of like supposed to feel dark and kind of downtrodden. So let me go ahead and play a little bit in the background here. So this is Swallow the Sun, and the name of the track is Firelights. So it starts off a little slow. As I said, it's very much about emotion and just kind of letting the lyrics kind of dictate where the music goes. At least that's the impression I get. And they have some great visuals. If you guys want to check out some of their videos, check out Swallow the Sun, and you can see some of the cool stuff that they do. We're going to let this play out for a few moments here.
I'm breathing in. I'm breathing.
All right, that is Firelights from Swallow the Sun. And one thing about the album is, so the main songwriter's partner had passed like prior to this album being made. So a lot of the content on this is sort of him dealing with the fallout of his partner dying. So you can, there's definitely a lot of emotion on it, and it kind of takes you on a ride, but the whole album is amazing. So check out When a Shadow is Forced into the Light from Swallow the Sun. All right, that was number 2. You guys probably can guess what my number 1 is, right?
Oh shit! Is it fucking Devin Townsend?
If Devin Townsend puts out an album in a year, it's gonna be my fucking number 1.
Oh, I'm so excited, Johnny. Is he really doing it?
He did, yeah. What?
Yeah. What testament?
Well, they didn't put out an album this year, but so yes, to the surprise of nobody, Devin Townsend put out an album this year called Empath, and I actually don't have the date as when it was released. It was I think it was in the beginning of the summer, but let me just double check on that. But this album is so. He had the Devin Townsend project together for the last several years, and he's someone who has basically been the main songwriter, the driving force behind everything he did. And then he ended up, kind of collaborating a little bit more with his band. So he ended up calling it the Devin Townsend Project, and it just got to a point where he wanted to go in a different direction. And so he basically got rid of the backing band and started fresh. And he worked on this album called Empath, which is sort of the amazing thing about him. I need to kind of sum it up because I could talk for a while. But he takes a lot of what's going on in his life and his growth, and just tries to make sense of everything going on and put it into his lyrics. So a lot of his stuff is sort of about a guy who's just kind of learning how to grow old, and how to be a good human being. So there's a lot of that. It's not your typical sort of metal lyrics. It's very introspective, and a lot of the music mirrors that. And he has some very intense music, mostly because there's so much. It's like a sonic wall, because he has so many sounds in the mix, and he layers upon layers upon layers, and it sounds like a wall hitting you. And when there's a lot of emotion behind that, it can be oppressive to the point of people don't like to listen to it because it's almost too much. And so this album actually came out March 29th, 2019, Empath. His goal was to kind of take an album of kind of where he was at in his life, someone dealing with getting older and sort of being a celebrity in a sense that's not like a huge celebrity, but he's able to make a living off of what he does. And this really pushed the envelope. It does some crazy stuff. It's got it's all over the place sonically in terms of styles. It's all over the place, but I'm going to play a little bit of the track Genesis. This is, I think, the first track he released off the album, and it's probably the best one to sort of get an idea. You can hear some, I don't know if you guys can hear that, almost like luau music. So that's how it starts. And he's got some choir. He's got a choir that sings on it as well. But he also has some of the heaviest music he's done in his career, that's kind of mixed in with it. So this song, Genesis, is one that's all over the place. And it's just like a musical journey. The first time I heard it, I was exhausted after listening. I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? And then I listened to it again. And this is one of the only artists that an album will come out and I will sit down, put my headphones on, and that's what I'm doing, is listening to that album. A lot of other times, I'll be at the gym, I'll be in the car, I'll be at work or whatever. But there's very few artists that when an album comes out, I am sitting down and that's what I'm doing, is just listening to the music and soaking it all in. So this one has a little bit of a long intro, so I might skip ahead a little bit here. All right, so I'm going to turn it up to let you guys hear some of the insanity.
If you say it in your mind, you're better off dead. Well, before the madness comes to claim your name, 1,000,000 years would go by.
Like it.
You dancing, Raven Shadow?
We're so white.
Yeah.
I'm Caucasian. Yeah, I'm whiter than Christmas.
So it started out with luau and then went to blast beat death metal.
That's cool, man.
So it's certainly not for everybody, but there's some amazing stuff going on there. If anyone appreciates interesting songwriting and great musicianship, then I would absolutely recommend you check out Empath from Devin Townsend. And so my top 5: Amon Amarth with Berserker, Hypnos with A Distant Dark Source, Voyager with Colors, Swallow the Sun with When a Shadow is Forced into the Light, and Devin Townsend with Empath. And just some honorable mentions of some albums I listened to a lot over the year. Whitechapel with their album The Valley, Gatecreeper with Deserted, Cattle Decapitation with Death Atlas, I Built the Sky, The Zenith Rise. And I Built the Sky is interesting. It's all instrumental. So if anyone's into like instrumental metal, it's really cool and with some great melodies and great guitar work going on. And also Frantic Amber with the album Bellatrix. And Frantic Amber is an all woman band, and they fucking kick ass. It's really good stuff. So I recommend you check out all that stuff. And if any of you guys have your own metal albums, if I missed something, or it was a great year for metal, so it was really difficult to kind of encapsulate in top 5. But I did the ones that I probably will have listened to the most over the year, and ones that kept popping up for me. So let me know if you've never listened to any of them and you check it out. Let me know what you think. All right, Raven Shadow, you're up. Your top 5.
Yep. Yeah, my top 5, I'm going to do TV shows that I've watched on multiple platforms.
Okay, cool.
Because I really want to do comics, but I'm still so behind on comics.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do TV programs in 2019. Can I do one honorable mention before I do my top 5 of 2019?
Yeah.
This is a show that I was turned on to by Marion, and why it may have ended a couple years ago is a show called Community. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
So fucking good. I love it. And a little bit of weird flashback. The main character, I think Joel McHale is going to be in the Stargirl TV show on the CW or DC Direct. And he's playing a character who was the first Star Spangled Kid, Sylvester Pemberton. And Star Spangled Kid and Starman has a weird cross-pollination. It's very weird and very complex. I won't bore you with now, but I'm very excited for that. The fact that he's doing that is very weird. And I've seen some preliminary trailers for it, and he's wearing his Skyman costume. This is super fucking deep diving stuff. No one knows at all what I'm fucking talking about, so I'm gonna stop. There's some real nerd shit happening, and the fact that Community had the Russo brothers, and it had fucking Donald Glover as young Lando.
Well, before Lando.
Before Lando, and he's fucking, what was it? Fucking Handsome Gambini. What's his name?
Childish Gambino.
All right, well, yeah,
Handsome Gambini.
Well, he's very handsome too. So I feel the Community has a level of nerd cred that shouldn't be forgotten. Thank you, Aries. I'm getting the look. So with that said, my top 5 shows of 2019.
Now you're saying these are shows that are out in this past year?
Everything dropped in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Community was the only
outside that norm.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So number 5, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's don't get pissed. All right. Is
Too
a show called Mayans. All right. Mayans season 2 dropped. And while Mayans is a spin-off of the Sons of Anarchy, my top 1 or 2 favorite shows of all time, next to or along with Sopranos, Mayans season 2 was a lot better than season 1 in my opinion. And it's not the show's fault. I think it's getting more and doing stuff with the club. And it's a great spin-off. It's not a cash grab. It's a legitimate. It takes place in the world that Sun started, and it's an MC club from the the Latino perspective, and it's keeping it real. The first season was very much caught up in drug cartel stuff, whereas season 2 is focusing more on the club members, and I'm really digging that. So, and you see, if you're a fan of Suns, You will see some characters show up, and it definitely isn't a extension of that. They mentioned Jax. You see the current president, and there's you see certain things. So it's no spoilers, but check it out. If you dig Sons, I think you will like Mayans, and it's pretty dope. So check that out.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, Aries. I want you to watch that, and I want to watch that with you. That'd be exciting.
I have no interest.
You took your headphones off. It felt me like you were interested.
There's someone else in this building, correct?
Yeah, it's two people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hearing voices. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, that's why you guys get the fuck out. All right, so number 4 is Amos Aries, but CW's Crisis, man. CW shows aren't the best shows for superhero stuff, but 10, 15 years ago, they'd be the dopest stuff, but we've been around with, Marvel's Netflix shows. The games change, but, if you're right, wrong, or indifferent, CW, they're producing a lot of superhero television that years ago we would have loved to have. And while I'm not watching all of it, with the exception of my guilty pleasure of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, they do an annual crossover event, and it's super awesome. They're doing fucking Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's absurd to me. They're doing that. And the first 3 episodes have been great. After early January, they're doing the final 2 parts. So check that out. If you haven't watched it already, they are available on, I don't know, CW streaming or whatever the fuck. So check that out. Now, let's go to Amazon. The Boys. Garth Ennis's comic adaptation that was supposed to out-preacher Preacher. It was going to be crazy outrageous. And as I mentioned before, Preacher is my favorite thing on this planet. When Garth did The Boys, I thought it was good. I read the first 2 trades, and I feel it was him just kind of taking the piss at superheroes, where it's no secret that Garth hates heroes. He's British, or Irish rather, didn't grow up with that. That's not his milk. And I felt he was trying a little bit too hard. With this adaptation, I feel they've actually improved upon the source material. It's brutal at times, but it's not as rhymes with apey as some of the comic did. And and the comic was a little bit outrageous just to be outrageous. And it was actually even off-putting, despite me liking things that are outrageous and me liking the F word. But the show is really fucking good, and it just reinforces that I wish Preacher was on Amazon or one of these other platforms. But it's some crazy shit. I highly recommend checking out Boys Season 1. By the end of the finale, it is completely different from what the books are doing, and I'm kind of glad with that, where it does improve upon the comics. So check out The Boys on Amazon. My number 4, I'm going back to the well of real people doing real things, is the season of Animal Kingdom. Aries gets mad at me, but it's if you like, once again, Sons of Anarchy and Point Break, it's fucking handsome dudes, long hair, committing crimes, having adventures. I fucking like that. It's very sexy. There is a death of a major character in this season that is going to change the focus of the program, which I can't even imagine how it's going to go. But I am remarkably excited for next season of Animal Kingdom. It'll be on the TNT program come summertime. My number 5 was almost number 4.
You mean number 1?
Shit. Yes, my number 1.
Because you went 5, 4, 3, 4, 5.
I'm reading what I wrote.
You really got to get this whole numbering thing down next year.
Next year. 2021 is going to be a dope year for that. But my number 1 or number 5, depending on your perspective, got bumped up because of its last 2 episodes. Fucking Mandalorian, dude.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sorry, Johnny. Can we fucking have a moment, me and you, right now?
Only because of the last two it got bumped up?
The last two.
Wait,
up-
has
up-
Aries, have you seen the whole thing
I
yet?
finished it. I finished it, yeah.
Good. No, I don't want to spoil
we-
anything, but, you know.
Oh, yeah, no. I did exactly what I hate doing. Last night I watched the last two back to back. Like, I finished 7 and went, I gotta fucking watch 8. Like, just...
I thought episode one was brilliant, and I thought like 6 or 7, but these fucking last two were unfucking believable.
Three was still maybe one of the best ones. That was when you see the Mandalorians.
Which is 3?
The one where you see the Mandalorians all come out of hiding.
Oh yeah, when they're all yeah. That was it. There's so many in 8 episodes. I would say, if the only criticism is that they were slightly more episodic, or I hate to use the term, it's a Smallville term, like Freak of the Week. You know, when they were having the media rogues early on.
I do wish the narrative flowed a little bit better. Like there was more impactful stuff that happened in some of the episodes. Because in 8 episodes, for a season, I think that it should all sort of carry the main arc a little bit further. And some of those episodes, while it moved characters ahead and stuff like that, it didn't really move the story further,
Yeah, there were fillers, but a lot of it comes back at the end.
Yeah.
And I think you still write for that episodic, even if everything drops at the same time. And actually, I love the idea of this new thing of dropping every week.
Well, it's not new.
But like as opposed to everything season.
Streaming services releasing once a week rather than
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Netflix started the binge stuff, and then others followed suit. But yeah, like this is, like look at something like Game of Thrones. Everybody was fucking talking about it. Like it aired on a Sunday, and Monday morning, that's all people were talking about. And if you can keep that conversation going for 8 weeks, like they did with The Mandalorian, your show is going to be one of the most talked about things for 8 weeks. Where Stranger Things season 3, like we all. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can't remember if you guys saw it or not, but like, you see it in a few days and then people stop talking about it,
Exactly. Like, and it's fine if you want to, I mean, you can not watch it at all and binge it when you want to. And it's not a hard binge. I mean, it's only half-hour episodes as opposed to.
Right.
And I would be pissed if somebody watched it all in one go and then like spoiled shit for me. Like, I would be so fucking pissed,
But it was fucking really good. And I fully understand why they dropped episode 7 on a Thursday before, let's just say, a new Star Wars movie dropped.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was mostly just so they weren't released on the same day. But yes, there were something that happened in both, I guess, parallel.
I think there was the parallel that happened in one that made you justify the other.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But it finished remarkably strong. I will have to check out the Force and Sensitive podcast to check out further stuff. But yeah, Mandalorian, dude. Mandalorian was fucking dope. 2019.
Yeah.
I can't front. That was the fucking dopest TV show. Right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could tell they spent a lot of money on it too. $15 million an episode. So it's definitely some good shit, man. So, well, that's it for our top 5s. MZ, maybe we'll have him give his on the next episode or something like that, because I know he did prepare something. But any other final thoughts? I know we ran a little bit longer than we had intended to. That seems to be a trend today.
Women today, always.
Always.
That's our MO.
Yeah, it is our MO.
That should be our tagline. Trick or Treat Radio. We run long.
Well, we are the best long form podcast, so
We are long. That's fun.
So next week we're gonna have a shitload of content for people, because obviously we got the Patreon show and the year-end show dropping on the 1st, so Wednesday the 1st, and then we're doing our live show on Thursday, and then the podcast comes out on Friday. So it's about 7 hours of podcasting for you in 1 week.
We're sorry.
And I just did a 7-hour Star Wars podcast last week.
We're gonna talk about that, Johnny.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
We've talked about that.
We'll talk about that on the live show.
All right, cool.
That's
I got something to chat with you.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this one. So, big thanks to all the Patreon supporters. Hope you guys had a great holiday, and also hope the New Year starts off great for you. And we appreciate you guys helping to support us and keep things going. And hope everything goes well. So let's say goodbye, Aries.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard. Please support our Patreon.
Well, people hearing this already have.
Yeah, everyone is hearing this is supporting us.
Yeah.
But please keep doing it. Because next month, listen. There's 12 more months in the year?
Yes, there's 12 months in a year.
Yeah, so please, listen, I love you so much out there. Listen, you're in the back. Big ups, yours.
All right. Well, big thank you to everybody. We appreciate you guys helping to support us and enabling us to continue to do this. We appreciate it so much. So I hope you guys dug the list. If you have any feedback or want to contribute your own, please feel free. I didn't hit the. I meant to hit the music and I didn't. All right, there we go. So go ahead and please feel free. The music isn't playing. Fuck it.
Start humming.
Oh, man. Is the intro going to play? Is anything going to play here?
Try!
Eric, I'll close the program and try to reopen it. If that doesn't work, then fuck it.
Acapella.
Acapella, yeah.
Yeah, some SPGB songs.
So we appreciate everyone, and I hope you guys all have a great new year. And if you guys have stuff to add, your own top 5 lists for the year, I mean, it doesn't have to be on the year-end show. You can add them at any point in time you want. We'd appreciate hearing them, of course. And if you guys have additions to our list, or you want to take umbrage with any of our lists, then go ahead and do so and let us know what you think. There we go. There's the music. So. All right, so thank you everyone once again for helping support the Patreon, and hope you guys dug this. We'll see you next month.